Hello and welcome back. Susan Zummo here, intuitive and originator of soul patterning harmonics. This week, we're having a mini lesson on relationships. What I heard this morning was, can you appreciate and have gratitude for every relationship in your present and past? And they reminded me that we're not just talking about human relationships, all relationships. Relationships with your pets, your plants, your possessions, the physical and non-physical beings that are in our lives at this time or who have been in the past. They said, look at what these relationships bring to us. They said, in every relationship, there is the opportunity for us to grow and expand our spiritual body. We just need to examine them. What do we learn from our relationships? Do they show us what we like versus what we don't like? Do they show us what needs to be healed or balanced within? Do they show us what we are able to give and receive? They want us to look at relationships from a higher perspective. So they said, begin with past relationships because those are easier to examine than the ones that we are currently involved in. Sometimes when you've got that distance, you can take a look back and it's easier to see things than when you're right in the middle of it. Look at the past, examine each of them, and then can we have appreciation and gratitude for those relationships in the past? Some people will tend to go right to the ones that didn't leave them with a good taste in their mouth, and then some will only go to the ones that have pleasant memories. But we want to take a 360-degree view of our relationships because there is knowledge and wisdom in every single one of them if we are willing to look at them. I was reminded that many times when we are in relationship, what we give to others is what we need for ourselves. And so we want to be aware of what it is that we bring to a relationship. What do we want to give to the relationship? Do we want to give stability? Do we want to give love? Do we want to give consistency, loyalty? Do we want to give caring? How do we define these things? And again, this also applies to those non-physical beings. Some of us have a great need to care for animals because we are missing that caring for ourselves and in our lives. Some of us want a strong connection with those in the non-physical because we feel something greater than ourselves. Some of us want to connect with those who are outside of us because it makes us feel special and because it makes us feel like we are having an experience that others may be having or not having. And so I am reminded of a saying that my sister and I have used with our children for many years, and that is, yes, honey, you are special, just like everybody else. Our unseen helpers want to connect with everybody because we are all special. No one is more special than anybody else. They may have a different talent and a different purpose, but that does not make them more special, and we should be reminded of that. Do we come from a place of needing to give or needing to receive versus a place of sharing? They said a spiritual shift occurs in our spiritual body, in our soul, when we shift from fulfilling a need to sharing with others. That's what oneness is about. Oneness is not about fulfilling a need or getting something or giving something. It is about sharing on a physical and non-physical connection, right? So mostly we look at oneness as an etheric or energetic connection, and that's absolutely fantastic. not a you're going to give me something or I'm going to give you something. I was reminded that the best healers on the planet share their knowledge. They share their skills and their energy. This allows the other person to shift into a place of balance rather than needing to fix someone else, as some healers like to do. They like to be fixers. But the best ones, they are sharers. They share their knowledge in the form of, here's what you can do when you leave here. Here's what I see happening for you and how it's connected. They share their skills by executing their well-earned and well-learned techniques to help bring us into a place of balance. Once they shift us into a place of balance by holding space with their own energy, we have the opportunity to support healing within ourselves. This is my idea of the best healer, the best guide, the best intuitive, the best spiritual leader, the best teacher that you can ever find is one who wants to create a space for you to grow within yourself rather than attempting to fix you. The soul matures as the spiritual body releases repeating karmic patterns. This is what we can learn from relationships. Rather than going over the same scenario over and over and over, repeating those dynamics, repeating those relationships, repeating those lifetimes, we can move into a spiritual elevation by releasing repeating patterns. We do that by healing self, and you guys know how to do that. They said grace enters with a connection to the higher, which is established by releasing these patterns. Movement into a new life experience occurs, and new pathways open up for us. This holds true in terms of our galactic connections as well. Sometimes we repeat the things that we have done in the non-physical over and over and over. Now that we are here on this planet and in this body, we can make those connections and we can release those patterns too. And that is very important because those in the non-physical don't have a concept of needing to eat or sleep. And so we get into a situation where we connect with them and we're connecting and working and connecting and working and moving energy and working and working and working, and we can just run ourselves into the ground without that balance. And so we have to be in control. We have to be in charge of our relationships. And we do that by controlling self. We do that by setting our limits, and we do that by understanding that relationships, if they're healthy, require harmony and balance. And sometimes it's up to us to maintain that. Your soul will never push you to do more than you are able to do or capable of handling. But sometimes our relationships will. Sometimes we take on more caring than is healthy for us. Sometimes we have 7, 8, or 9 pets that need extreme care, and then we take on number 10. So we must be the ones who must understand what our limitations are and where our balance points are, and then we have to stand by those. Some of us do that with people, where we take on chores and the care of people over and extending ourselves past our own capabilities. Some of us do that with our non-physical friends as well. And so healthy relationships are more about sharing than needing to give or needing to receive. And this is the theme for this week. This is something that I want you to take away as you leave this video. Am I in balance when it comes to giving and receiving? Am I in a healthy space when it comes to what I need versus what I am giving, right? So we want to think about those things. They said every relationship has 4 pathways to experience that partnership. There is the me path. What can I get out of this? Why do I want this? Do I want someone to take care of me? Do I want someone to elevate me? Do I want someone who's going to give me the love that I am not feeling or haven't felt? Do I want someone who's going to provide stability and security for me? Then there is the other path. What can I give? What am I giving to the relationship? Do I want to give everything of myself to someone else? Do I want to submerge myself in the other being? Do I want to exceed my limitations when it comes to fixing the other person, fixing the planet, fixing the community, fixing everything in my life? That's the other path, only focused on the other. Then there is the inner path. The inner path is, let me take what is in this relationship that I am in and bring it within myself and see where that applies. See what needs to be balanced. See where my assets are, where my positives are, where the wonderful things about me are. The inner path. Let me take this relationship inside of myself and examine it from my inner. The last path is the higher path. How can I take this relationship to a higher level? How does this relationship, whatever that relationship is, connect me with my higher source? How does it bring me closer to my soul self? How does it elevate my frequency? Those 4 paths can always be working simultaneously in any relationship. What we want to avoid, I heard, was remaining on one path only. 4 is a number of stability and foundation, and this is a great foundation for positive and healthy relationships. They are the progression that we can utilize to release that which no longer serves us and step into that which uplifts everyone involved. And I thought that was really good advice. We want to release our concepts, our memories, and our relationships that no longer serve us. It doesn't mean that those beings, those individuals will necessarily leave our life. But what it means is that we will change who we are in those relationships. Doing that gives everybody else the opportunity to change too. And as we all move into balance, we move from need to share. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. And if you think about it, that moves us more into 5D consciousness. Not what can we take from or what can we give away, but what can we share. And I think this also applies to our relationship with the planet. Think about that. We have gone through a phase where all we've been focused on as a humanity is what can we take from the planet? What is it going to give us? How is it going to sustain us? How is it going to support us and uplift us? Then we moved into a pattern of we must give everything to the planet. We must sacrifice everything for the planet. We must fix the planet in every aspect that we can think of. And this has also caused imbalance. But when we look at our relationship with Earth, with Gaia, and it becomes a true relationship, then we move into what can we share with one another? How can we support one another? And how can we have a loving and caring relationship where there is both giving and receiving? There is internal connection and a higher path that leads us all to ascension, all to a higher frequency. And with that note, I think we'll end this little mini lesson, and I will wish you many blessings until I see you next week.